So you're wondering how to become a life coach without certification. I know exactly how to do that. Stick around, there's some things you need to watch out for. A significant portion of my professional time is spent coaching coaches. This is because I've been able to set up a very successful life coaching business, having started in psychology. Now, I was a clinical psychologist for probably a dozen years or more. I'm still a licensed psychologist, but I no longer practice psychotherapy. I traded that in over a decade ago for life coaching. Why? For my own journey, it had to do with some of the restrictions that occur in the world of therapy. These are important for you to know about because if you're interested in becoming a life coach, you do not want to cross the lines of licensed professionals who are operating in a particular field of practice. As a psychologist, I am licensed to diagnose and treat mental illness. As a life coach, you don't have the licensure to do that, and you can get in trouble not only with the law, but you could really mess some people up. And this is something that gets in the way of many aspiring life coaches because they really want to help people, but they don't want to go through the whole training and licensing and certification process that's required to become a practicing professional. Now, life coaching is actually in a realm that is not currently regulated in most states, meaning that there's not a state governing body that says you have to do these certain things in order to qualify to be a life coach. This is both good and bad news. Okay, the good news is you can do this even if you don't have a degree or a certification. The bad news is anybody can do this. So we have all kinds of people flooding the industry right now who have no business being in that position because they don't know what they're doing. So the first thing I want to emphasize here is you've got to know what you're doing. Now, you don't have to be an expert on everything. In fact, you can't be an expert on everything. Do you need to be the expert? No, but you need to be an expert. And that expertise is typically confined within a particular skill set or area that you have some experience with. That's one of the important clarities that you have to get clear about before becoming a life coach. Or if you are already a life coach, let's make sure that you're clear about your area of expertise. This is an ethical, moral concern. We don't want to hurt people, we want to help them. One of the best ways we can do that is making sure we practice within our area of expertise. Now you can expand that area. Some people choose to do that through schooling, for example. I went through the 21st grade, that's how I explained it to my kids, to get a PhD in clinical psychology. I have some training and expertise that now comes into my life coaching practice. I chose to expand my skill set through that route. Now, do you have to go to school and get a degree to be a life coach? No, you don't. But realize that there are some limitations to what you can do. That's all that I'm saying about that. It probably would make sense to talk for just a moment about the difference between licensure and certification. Licensure typically refers to the process that you go through with the state or a governing agency that has the ability to license people in certain fields. Currently, in most states, there's not a licensing process for life coaches. There is for therapists or for psychologists or for social workers, or for electricians or plumbers. These people have to go through a certain training process to get the license to practice in that area. Certification has to do with completing a particular particular type of training, and the certifying agency or person signs off on, yes, they have completed this certification, they can do this particular process. I provide a certification in my Live on Purpose Institute. That's just an example. You can go look at other programs where a guru, an established professional, a coach who is already successful has brought their material or their process into a package that people can be certified to deliver to their clients. So certification is a little different kind of a process. Can you be a life coach without either of those? Yes, you can. However, both licensure and certification expand your ability to deliver value to your clients. You can do it yourself, or you can find someone who has an already proven process and get certified in their program. It's not necessary, but it saves you a few steps and can create some real shortcuts for you. Going back to where we started, if you choose to do this without going through a certification process with someone who already has an established, proven system, make sure that you are clear about the limitations to your practice based on your experience and your expertise and training, which you already have. I know that you're here and watching this video because you have it in your heart to help people in meaningful ways. There's a reason why you found this video. Here's the other side of this whole equation. The people that you can help. I'm talking about your tribe. I've got my tribe. You've got your tribe. And your tribe and my tribe are not the same tribe. I can help some people uniquely with my particular skill set and experience that you might not be able to help. That's fine, because you have people you can help who are outside of my skill set or experience or expertise or out of my reach. There is an abundance of opportunity to assist people to have a more excellent life. And that means that there's a place for you to fit in this life coaching arena. As you become more clear about some of the things we've talked about here on this particular episode, it not only empowers you to have a great experience as a life coach, but it opens up that amazing service that only you can offer to the people that only you can touch. If you don't offer it, they don't get it. And that to me has some moral implications. I think we need to step up and do what we can to provide that service to people where we can. You can become clear about the things that are necessary. We've talked about a few of those here on this episode. There are 7 crucial clarities that I covered in a webinar that I'd be happy to give you access to. Go to liveonpurpose.coach, not .com, okay? liveonpurpose.coach/webinar. I spend a whole hour going over the 7 crucial clarities for everyone who's starting a life coaching practice or who wants to become more established in that field. I think you might find that useful. I'm so glad you found this video. If you know of someone else who would really enjoy hearing this material, would you please share it with them? There's easy ways to do that in the buttons down below. Also, that webinar that I mentioned, I think would be extremely powerful for you. liveonpurpose.coach/webinar. It's completely free, and I'm making that available to you. Hope to see you again soon.
And I wished I'd had a number so